to welcome to the first and probably only episode of my very own series, Tank Chat. No, that's probably a copyrighted Tank Talks. Yes, this one's gonna be about the Tiger 2, also known as the Königstiger or the King Tiger. All right, here you go. In the final years of World War II, Germany unveiled its most formidable armored beast, the Tiger II, also known as the Königstiger or King Tiger, designed to dominate the battlefield. Get off my chair! It combined immense firepower with nearly impenetrable armor. The armor had the frontal upper plate, also known as the front upper frontal glacis, had 150 millimeters of armor, sloped at 30 degrees. Now, keep in mind, it gave it a line of sight thickness of about 217 millimeters of armor. Now, keep in mind, the best thing that the Allies had was the British 17 pounder, which could only penetrate 168 millimeters of armor at sloped at 30 degrees at 1,000 meters. It had a lower frontal plate of 100 millimeters of armor sloped at 50 degrees also. The side armor was 80 millimeters. The upper part was sloped at 25 degrees, which is 80 millimeters is literally the same amount as the Tiger 1. So impenetrable from the front, penetrable from the side. Which, I mean, that's most medium and heavy tanks of the war. That's what they were designed to be. But, like, really? There's no improvement for the King Tiger side armor as opposed to Tiger 1 side armor. The rear armor was 80 millimeters, and the roof of the hull was 40 millimeters. The bottom of the hull was 40 millimeters at the front, and at the rear is 20 millimeters. The overall armor thickness ranged from 25 millimeters to 185. Its sloped armor made it nearly impenetrable to most and anti-allied tank and anti-tank weapons at the time. It was armed with the massive 8.8 centimeter Kampfwagenkanone Kampfwagenkanone 43 L71 cannon. It could penetrate up to 185 millimeters of armor at 2,000 meters, which 185 millimeters is that's how much armor was on the turret cheek. That was 185 millimeters sloped at 9 degrees, since they couldn't really make a big slope because of the shop trap because there's a Tiger 2P Porsche model, and it had a curved turret cheek, which looked kind of like curved. And if you hit it down here, it would deflect the shell downward into the upper to the whole roof armor, making it work against you, known as a shop trap. So they had to make that armor flat and thick. It could carry 80 to 86 rounds depending on the turret type, whether it was P or H. The secondary weapons were two 7.92 millimeter, so just basic rifle ammunition. 7.92 by 57 millimeter Mauser is the full name. MG-34 machine guns. One was, I mean, there were like three. There was a hull mounted one. There was a coaxial, which means it's right next to the turret, or I mean, right next to the main gun. And then there was a roof mounted machine gun for some limited AA anti-aircraft defense, which altogether could all those together had 5,850 rounds. The KWK, or the Kampfwagenkanone 43, was one of the most powerful tank guns of the war, capable of destroying any Allied tank at long range. Its engine, it had a Maybach HL 230 P30 engine. It was a V12 liquid cooled gas powered engine. It had 700. It had an output of 700 horsepower at 3,000 revolutions per minute. Despite its immense size, the Maybach engine only gave the Tiger II surprising mobility for a tank of nearly 70 tons. It's based pretty much 69 tons in total, and the transmission was the Maybach Olvar OG 401216B, 8 forward gears and 4 reverse gears. Now the transmission was severely strained because of the weight of the tank, because it was not made for a 69-ton vehicle. Transmission was advanced, but prone to mechanical issues under the strain of the tank's massive weight. In fact, most of the 489 Tiger IIs ever made were knocked out, not by the enemy. They weren't knocked out by the enemy. They were just ditched because they either ran out of fuel or had a mechanical breakdown. Its combat weight, so when it was um, fully loaded with ammunition, was about 68.5 to 69.8 tons. The hull length, the hull, HULL, length was 7.38 meters. The length with the gun, including the gun forward, is 10.29 meters. The width is 3.76 meters. The height is 3.09 meters. It had a crew of 5: the commander, gunner, loader, driver, and radio operator. The commander sat in the back of the turret, just in front of the ready rack, which held the tank's ammunition. The KWK 43 fired the the Panzergranate 43, or it fired the Panzergranate 39/43, which was an APHE CBC shell. It's just called APCBC with high explosive filler. And commander or the gunner sat to the left of the gun, and the loader sat to the right of the gun. And the bullets were like pretty big, at nearly 70 tons. And the driver sat, in the front, and then the radio operator sat next to him at nearly 70 tons. The Tiger II was the heaviest operational tank of World War II, dwarfing most Allied armor. The Tiger II was a masterpiece of engineering, an armored fortress with unmatched firepower, yet its sheer size and complexity made it difficult to produce and maintain. In the end, the King Tiger was as much as a symbol as German ambition as it was the limits of wartime industry. We, yeah, so that's pretty much it.